Have you ever thought of using a stencil as a template? Hi, I'm Myra with Boutique Paint. Today we're using our Halloween Elements stencil as a template to make a Halloween banner. And I'm going to be using just some construction paper or cardstock. This is cardstock, but you could use either. And I'm going to fold this in half. And then I'm going to fold it in half again, about the size of this bat. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set the bat down on top of this. We're just going to take a thin pencil. So this is a mechanical pencil because you don't want the line to be too big if possible, although it won't show. Or you could use a colored pencil if you think you're going to have a hard time seeing the pencil markings on the stencil. Just make sure that the pencil is super sharp. That way you get a nice thin line. It makes it easier when you're cutting it out. And we're just tracing around the inside of this little guy. I think we got everything. There we go. Now when you go to cut this out, we want to cut this edge last. The reason being is it holds the whole thing together. And as long as you have like even a small piece up here that isn't cut, we'll be in good shape. So I am going to use... I'm committing a sin here, and I'm using my fabric shears or my fabric scissors to cut this out because they're the sharpest ones I have, because I am going through 4 layers of paper at one time. You could do 2 layers at one time if you would prefer, but for speed, I'm going to do it this way. And you can just cut some of the extra away right off the bat. Ha! I made a joke and didn't realize it. It makes it easier to manage when you're cutting. Okay, so we've got 4 of them cut out now, and they're looking pretty good. And I wasn't absolutely precise in my cutting. You can see I just kind of, as long as you get the feel of the cutout, you've got it. Next, we're going to do the moon, and same thing, I'm going to want 4 of these. So we're going to kind of get an idea of how to fold this. I think I'll just go ahead and fold it in half this way, and then we'll fold it in half this way. Same thing, we're just gonna trace it. And obviously this one's going to be a lot easier to cut than the bats were. And I'm also going to put the witch from this in the center of the banner. See, I still left this edge so that it's all together. I'm going to just go ahead and cut out some extra. Next is our little witch. Now I cut her out already just because I knew it would take quite a bit of time to get her cut out. But basically what I did is when I traced her, I traced the lines and I just went straight across and straight across. I didn't come down and trace this line, this line, this line. I didn't trace the ends of the broom handle because you don't need those. You're going to go straight into the witch there. And so she does have a cutout here, and I don't know if you can see my pencil marks on there, but basically I want to cut on the inside of there. So I'm going to take my hole punch and I'm just going to punch a couple holes because this is a tiny one. I grabbed a small one. I'm just going to do a bunch of like that. That way I can get my scissors in there. And you may want to do this part before you cut the top folded part, so it does help keep the whole thing together. But that is why I'm using the clips on this. I'm having a little, oh, there we go. I was having a hard time seeing that line. You can just take little snippets here until you can get where you want to go. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that chunk out. And where you can't really see the hand going onto the broom, the detail quite as well as the stencil shows, it's at least you've got the feel of what it's supposed to look like. So I only did 2 of these guys because they're going to be in the center. And so we just want 2 to sandwich into the string into. So next we're going to put these guys on a string. And so to kind of figure out how big of a place you want, basically what you could do is you could just line these all up. We know we're going to do 2 bats in this and a moon on each side. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use the whole moon over here like that. So from there, we're going to go ahead and do the whole witch just because. So we're going to do that, takes up all of our little elements here. And then we want space in between. So I'm going to double that to there. And then I'm going to double it again. And that will be my center. And this way, and then you can give it a little, just give it a little extra. I'm going to give it like 8-inch, 6-inch more. So I marked the string in half. I folded it in half and then marked it. And I used red Sharpie just so that you could see it while I'm doing this. Normally I would use my disappearing ink pen, which disappears in 24 to 48 hours. But I wanted you to be able to see what I'm doing here. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure about 7.5 inches down this string. Oops. And I'm going to mark, and that's where the center of my elements are going to go as I glue it. So we're going to mark that at 7.5. I'm just going to put little dots there, and then we're going to slide it down. And again, so that we got the witch, we got 1 bat, we've got 1 moon, and then we're going to go down 1 more and we'll put another bat. I'll mark that. And these are just approximate. And then that leaves string at the end to hang it from. And you can either, do a little loop at the end or whatever. So let's go ahead and open this up, and we're going to put the witch that I have my pencil markings on. We're going to put her face up like this here. And then this one will go on top. But first we must glue it. So we're gonna, and you can use, as long as you have pretty thick paper, you can use different styles of glue. I'm gonna use rubber cement. You just don't want something that's super gloppy, because then sometimes it will wrinkle up the paper and make it a little funky. You could even use hot glue. This is a little stringy. I don't usually use this stuff, but I figured it would be good for this project. So you just want to make sure you got glue on around the edges nice and good. So just go ahead and put it in the middle and then kind of move it around from there. There we go. Get the handle a little bit better. And I'll just put her right down on top. Make sure you get her lined up. And the nice thing about rubber cement is you do have a little bit of time to move it around, get it where you need it to be. Same thing. This is the one with the pencil marks. There's our red line, so we're going to put it right in the middle of the bat. Now you don't have to have the string in the middle there. I just did that with the big one just to kind of get a feel for it. So I forgot to cut my second set of bats. So you're going to want a total of 4 sets of bats if this is what you're going to do. You could also do the pumpkins, you could do the witch's hat, you could do the witch's hats and bats with this, so that would be really cute. And the witch's just kind of shake it up. There's quite a few different elements on this particular stencil. So as a side note, these are directional. So when you're cutting it out, you want to be stacking them the same way you cut them. In other words, don't flip them over because then they won't match up from one side to the other. And the other thing is if you're using the rubber cement and you get some, like I've got some on this moon, I'm going to wait for that to dry, and then I should be able to just take my finger and rub, my clean finger, and rub, and it will pull off. Take the ends here, just do a little loop. That way you have something easy to hang it onto. You can get there you go. And we'll do that on both ends. And then that's our project for this week. If you have any questions about any of the products we used in this video, you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com. And once again, this is our Halloween Elements stencil that we used on this. Thanks for joining me. Bye.